Hey there, hey there, hey there. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday. Welcome to another beautiful day in the neighborhood. As our some of you older folks, you know about Mr. Rogers, as he would say. Welcome to the neighborhood. It's gonna be a beautiful day. My name is Aaron Dwyer, and I'm one of the owners of Exit Realty Lake Country. The three of you that are on here, Vanessa, Teal, and Carrie. Good morning. I guess you guys know that if you watch this later. My wife and I own Exit Realty Lake Country. We have offices in Georgia and in Tennessee, and we get up every single morning and spend some time with whoever wants to spend some time with us. So usually it's a collection of our agents and some folks that know who we are. So we are I'm excited to be here this morning. Good morning, Kristen Ritchie. Hope you are well. Everybody say hi to Kristen Ritchie. Kristen's one of our I'm not even sure you guys have met Kristen yet. She's one of our newest agents. So everybody say good morning to Kristen, and hopefully we get to see her. Hopefully we get to see her next week. And get to see her next week, and you guys will get to meet her. But she is going to be an absolute rock star. So we're super happy that she's here. Sorry, I'm looking at a book. Um, let's see. Let's see who all is here. I got Michelle Tilson. I got. Where am I at? Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry, y'all. Hey, Kristen. By the way, we got to get you into. Hey, good morning, Jared Tilson. Look at that. I'm looking at. I'm on the Exit Realty Lake Country Nation on my iPad, so I get to see Jared Tilson. What's up, buddy? But Kristen, we got to get you in the group page so we can see, so you can be a part of the Exit Realty Lake Country agent page, the private page for us. So, man, I hope everybody is fantastic this morning, man. I hope you guys got up with a great attitude and looking forward to having a great day. I hope y'all slayed yesterday. I hope that 24 hours that you got yesterday, you made the most of it. Again, I try to start these calls. I think this is really important. You know, it wasn't until 50 that I really realized how fast time goes. Well, probably 30, because yesterday I was 30 and today I'm 50. It wasn't, the older you get, the faster the years go by, they say. Good morning, Lynn Grizzle. And the older we get, and the more mature we get, it seems like the less time we have to get the things done we need to get done. I guess that's one of the great myths of this life. One of the great mysteries of this life is that when you're younger, in your 20s and 30s, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. You have no clue, and yet you have the world's your oyster, and you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea where you're going, and then it seems like the 20s to 30s is kind of a practice run. And if you were my 20s and my 30s, you made a lot of stupid decisions. Kristen Ritchie, exactly. Days are long, but the years are short. There ain't no doubt about it. I said that the other day, and that's kind of why I'm saying that, is that very reason. The days are long, but the years are short. And my 20s and 30s, I was an absolute idiot. I mean, I was an absolute buffoon, and the hurt that was caused, and the pain that was caused, and the setbacks and the challenges. You know, you look back now at it, 50, going back and looking back, could all those things have been avoided? Sure, they could have been avoided. You could have made different decisions. Would I be the same person now at 50 that I would have been if I wouldn't have made those decisions? Who knows? Just life is such a funny. This thing is so funny because you just don't. It is a fantastic mystery, isn't it? Every single day, uh, and kind of that's sort of the things I want to talk about this morning, and hopefully I was told, I'm getting some feedback, and the feedback that I gotten is maybe I'm getting a little too heavy. I don't want to get too heavy. I don't want you to feel like that I am too heavy on these calls. I'm just this call these mornings. I really want, obviously when Christy and I started these calls, it was a way for us to connect with you guys every single day. And it's kind of what I said yesterday, us connecting with you every single day for 10 or 15 minutes evolved into an hour or longer. Some days it's super funny when Christy and I were on here together and kind of rambling and funny and goofing off and trying to give some, I don't know, little nuggets of wisdom, to then kind of moving into where I've sort of taken over most of the calls, and moving into helping you guys get better, and hopefully helping you guys to see some of the ways to move into that highest and best version of you. Because at the end of the day, that's why I think I'm here. Um, and I guess I don't want you guys to feel like I know it probably does feel like I'm preaching. I don't mean to. I don't mean for it to be heavy. I want to be able to give you guys whatever's on my heart, 'cause I promise you there's nothing planned in this deal. It's just kinda I go roll and I roll with whatever's coming out. So, I just again, I don't want this to be I don't want you to feel like I'm preaching at you. I'm not. I'm trying to motivate you. I'm trying to get you guys all heading, I guess, on that tough path, on that path to the video yesterday, the Karate Kid video yesterday, the to get out of the middle of the road. Get off of indecision, get off the path of indecision and make a decision. Make a decision to be great. Make a decision to be great. That's what I want for every one of you on this call to get up in the morning with us. I mean, there's a reason. I mean, hell, I wish there were 40 or 50 people on here, but we still stay around this 9 or 10 number. Maybe that's me. Maybe it's because it's this too heavy. Maybe I need to talk about um, maybe I should talk about dogs and cats um, and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know. I don't know. So, but thank you. Lynn says stop apologizing. Okay. All right. I'll stop apologizing. I just, like I said, some feedback that I've been given was that I was getting too heavy and we should lighten these things up a little bit. And maybe I should sing or I sang yesterday. Hell, I sang to Violet yesterday. Oh, Violet had a fantastic birthday, y'all. We have watched, one of the, I guess it's almost like being a granddad, kind of, sort of. But watching our exit kiddos grow up, watching Violet, watching Charlie Page, watching Jay Bird, watching Rhett and Riggs, watching these kiddos grow up and get older and Daisy and I mean it's so cool to watch all your kiddos grow up. Um, hell, Jack Leland's going to be the president of the United States one day, so y'all just watch that. I mean, Carrie's 16-year-old has got more connections than well, my God, never mind. Those are political lightning rods. We'll just say this: Jack Leland is extremely connected, and so let's talk about this. So I'm gonna go back to the Karate Kid video because I read something today, and it's super. I think on my run this morning, y'all, that run's getting easier. I almost made it the whole way without stopping today. I mean, I was literally like just this, a little section that I stopped. My run is getting better and better and better. If you're just joining us on these, I mean, I guess the only one maybe is Kristen and Anna. I'm guessing that's you. So Kristen, good morning, Melanie. I made a decision about 2 months ago that I was going to start getting up earlier. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Jack is having dinner with Mike Pompeo tomorrow night. If you don't know who Mike Pompeo is, just Google that. Jack, I swear, y'all, Jack Leland's he'll be the governor of Georgia, the next Republican senator from Georgia, or a president of the United States. That kid is fast tracking. I'm telling you right now. But Kristen, so when you hear me talk about this, about 2 months ago, I started reading a book called The 5 A.M. Club. And Kristen, if you're a big reader, um, if you're a reader, I'm telling y'all, you've got to. And we have a bunch of y'all that are reading the 5 A.M. Club. I saw in the picture that Christy put on the Exit Realty Lake Country Nation page, or the in the group chat the other day, that she actually had the book at her nail salon. So I'm super pumped up that she's starting to read the book. It is one of the best books I've ever read. Um, it is absolutely fantastic. For those of you, Jolie started reading it. She's not finished with it. She texted me a couple of weeks ago, said, "Hey, I need a highlighter. I'm running out of juice in my highlighter. This book is so good." So, the 5 A.M. Club by Robin Sharma, that kind of got me on this path, Kristen, and I'm trying to get to it. So it challenged me to construct my morning routine, and we preach morning routines here. We really believe in your morning routine. Matter of fact, if y'all don't know about this, there's actually an exit group called Exits Miracle Morning. If you're not a part of that, you could be. The Miracle Morning is something Hal Elrod created. Hal Elrod's an author, a speaker, but he created this Miracle Morning formula called Savers, Savers, and um, I don't know who the Facebook user is. Pass it on to a friend now. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Jolie. Maybe Jolie. But savers stands for silence, affirmations, vision, or visioneering. E is exercise, R is reading, and S is scribing. So silence, sitting in silence, being quiet, meditating, praying, that's in your morning routine. Affirmations, we talked about those yesterday in that prompter app. Prompter to 85377, doing some positive self-talk, some affirming of yourself. Um, Vision, it's so super important. Y'all seen, most of you who've been around for a little bit, I do this, I do my puzzle presentation, my puzzle analogy that I learned from Annette Anthony, my first broker owner training in Canada, where I give you a puzzle box and talk about the picture of the puzzle box and how having the picture in your mind makes it easier to do the process of putting the puzzle together. That's visioneering. That's having a vision. That's having a vision board. That is having a picture of what you want to achieve in your mind before you go after it. Because until you see it in your mind, you'll never see it in your experience. So vision's important. Exercise. Y'all, I cannot explain to you how much I hate to run. I used to be an avid, I'm not, but from the time I was 14 till the time I was 26 or 27, I was in the gym every single day. My dad would pick me up at school after school if I didn't have football practice or baseball practice, and we'd go to the gym. We'd go to Green Hills, to the Nautilus Gym in Green Hills in Nashville, Tennessee, and my dad would teach me how to work out. He taught me how to be in the gym, and I did that religiously for almost 20, over 20, well, 10, 15 years. And then I quit, and I've quit for like double that time. So I started running again. And Kristen, this is what I'm kind of getting at. I started running again as a result. Well, let me get this exercise. Let's finish this thought here. Exercise, y'all, is super, super important. It releases endorphins. It releases the chemicals and the hormones in your brain, in your soul, in your body that help you to fight disease, help you feel better. It opens up your pathways to ingenuity. It opens up your pathways to expression. It opens up your pathways to your imagination. Exercise opens up. Good morning, Millie. Exercise opens you up to possibility. So exercise is super important. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. R, y'all, I said this to Jagger yesterday morning. He's like, Dad, I gotta read, I gotta read, I gotta read. And he goes, I'm just not sure I like reading. I said, Bud, you need to stop affirming that right now. You're 10 years old. You need to start affirming that you love reading and that you love gaining knowledge and that you love getting after it and learning from people. That's the wonderful thing about books is you can read the thoughts of all these great people. You can feel the hearts of, and I don't read those Harlequin books or romance novels and all that crap that pollutes your mind. Hell, I'd rather get on Facebook, scroll on Facebook than read that stuff. Um, Exercise of bacon. But you've got to create a habit of reading. And I know a lot of us with time on our hands or in the car a lot, like the audiobooks. And I don't dislike audiobooks. I just don't like audiobooks as much as I like to read. I think there's power in the written word. And I think if you look back in history and you look back eons, I got a book right now that I just bought. I'll show y'all this book. It's really, really super cool. I can't wait to get into it. But it goes to show the power of the written word. The power of the written word. Kill McKinney eggs with the sides of bacon. I love that. This is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Not Marcus Aurelius on The Gladiator, if you've seen that movie, but Marcus Aurelius, who was actually a Roman emperor. And this is his diary, his meditations. The wisdom that's contained in this book is absolutely unreal. And I've seen this now it got mentioned once, and then a lot of the books that I'm reading now, this is mentioned a lot. So I'm like, I've got to get this book. So Marcus Aurelius, The Power of the Written Word. Okay. It's if it's written down, it's more powerful. You visualize it, you put it in your mind. And I just think audiobooks allow for distractions. And I know some of you have the excuse, well, if I read, I get tired. If I start reading a book, my eyes get heavy and I get sleepy. Then walk around and then get back in there because it's nothing more than muscle memory. It's nothing more than muscle memory. Okay. So the other S is scribing, journaling, having a journal, write down your thoughts. Not only is there power in the written word, but there's power in pulling out your thoughts, pulling out your feelings, and writing them down in a book. Now, for guys, it feels a little weird because growing up, girls had diaries. Guys didn't do this. So for men, it's super tough to journal when getting started. And this is kind of where I'm going. It's tough to get started journaling because it feels like you're keeping a diary. And I guess you kind of are, right? Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor born in 121 AD, his words are still alive in 2022. Think about that. He had a journal. He wrote down his thoughts and his feelings. And those words from 121 AD are still alive. Think about the Bible. The Bible has been around. The best-selling book that's ever been created is the Bible. And the Bible is still the most widely published. It's published in more languages, in more versions, in more variations than any other book ever. Kristen says my kids miraculously become the neediest kids on the planet when I sit down to read. How many of you have ever gotten on a phone call, and as soon as you get on the phone call, the dogs start barking? The dogs are laying on the couch, they're quiet as a mouse, and you get on the most important phone call of the day, and all of a sudden your dogs lose their mind. Has that ever happened to anybody? It happens to me all the time. Or you get on this call and your kids walk downstairs, they're looking at you like this, to the point that you got to ask them, "What do you want? What do you want?" I mean, nobody's here now. Um, it's amazing how that happens. So, S, scribe, get a journal. Okay, write your affirmations down. All this stuff works together. So savers. So the reason I'm mentioning this, and back to my original when I cranked this conversation up, as I was explaining to Kristen Ritchie, that this 5 a.m. club book that I read really challenged me to get my Good Morning Violet, get my stuff together in the mornings, because I had done really well with the morning routine, and then I'd backed off of it. I'd gotten really lazy. I'd had a morning routine, kind of got undisciplined with the morning routine to the point that it just went away. Kind of like working out from 14 to 26, got super undisciplined with that, and then quit from the time I was 26 to the time I was 46. Okay. It only takes one little crack in the dam to unleash the power of the river. It takes one little crack in the dam to unleash that force that's contained behind it. It takes one small little decision to take you off your path. So here's I think this is where I'm going to go this morning, because I heard this morning. I made a decision, Kristen. I made a decision, y'all, to get up earlier. I get up at 3:45 Central. I get up at 4:45 Eastern. So the weeks that I'm in Tennessee, I'm up at Good Morning Heather B. In Nashville, when I'm here at the house in Tennessee, I'm up at 3:45 in the morning. Y'all, I'm running every morning at 4 a.m. I'm on the road and I'm running. It is absolutely awful. If I told you that it was fantastic, I would be lying to you, because it is awful. Now I'm talking myself into that it's being awful, but I'm getting stronger and getting stronger and getting stronger. And this morning, where I would have to run and walk more than I ran, this morning I ran more than I walked. So I walked just a little bit. So I'm gaining confidence. I'm gaining strength. I'm gaining my wind. I'm getting my mental strength back. I'm doing the things that need to be done on something. Y'all, running has nothing to do with real estate. Running has zero to do with being a broker owner of Exit Realty Lake Country. Running has zero to do from a very physical, very superficial, very high level, low level, has nothing to, I should say low level, not high level, has nothing to do with being a dad, with being a husband, with being a stepdad, with being a dog owner. Has nothing to do with that. But it has everything to do with Will I make a decision every single morning? Will I make a decision every single morning to do something that I don't enjoy doing? Because I know at the end, if I keep doing the small things every single day that I don't like doing, that eventually there's going to be a fantastic result. Because if I can do it in a 20-minute run in the morning at 4 o'clock a.m. or at 5 o'clock a.m., when I can get up, get out of bed, get on the road, and do something that I'm not joking, y'all. Even when I was in super good shape, I hated running. I would go work out for 3 hours before I'd go run a mile. Trust the process. Trust the process. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep even in the face of I'm y'all, getting up is easy now. When my alarm goes off at 3:45, where it was 2 months ago when it would go off at 3:45, I'm like, "Oh my god, would you please shut up?" Now, I'm up. I'm up. 3:45, 4:45, I'm out of bed. That is the easy part for me now. It's getting easier to walk out the door. I didn't tell you this, I actually do 30 push-ups before I go run. I'm trying to work push-ups into this where I start doing 100 to, my goal is to do 1,000 push-ups a day. That's my ultimate goal is that I'm gonna do 1,000 push-ups a day. But I'm starting with 30. Every journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Every great invention started with making a decision to go try to figure it out. Going in the room, shutting the door, and writing down your thoughts. Every great moment, every great movement, every great thing that's ever happened has started with one person who sat down and decided today's the day I start. Brooke, Brooke, good morning, Brookie. She says, and y'all, this is why you have to show up for you first. So you can be a dad, a mom, a husband, a wife, a badass broker. Thank you, ma'am. I'm not sure on that, but thank you. Um, but you got to show up for you. You got to show up for you. So where I want to, what there's a couple of things I think these are related. So when I ran this morning, I'm running out, and every morning when I run, I listen to those motivational videos, the ones that I show y'all that y'all hate. When I show them to you on Wednesdays in the Madison meeting, when the guys are yelling at you and saying all that stuff. Um, yeah, put your O2 mask on before your kid. I'm going to show that video one day from Four Christmases. If y'all haven't seen Four Christmases, and this little video where Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon are arguing in the car, and he's talking about the oxygen mask thing, it's the funniest. It is almost it's the second funniest scene in that movie. But as I'm running this morning, I'm listening to these videos, and I know y'all hate them. I know the people yelling at y'all at the Madison meeting. You're like, oh my god, Aaron, showing another video. You're on your phone. You're sending emails. I know that happens, but I want you to hear those words from those videos because I listen to them now. I'm listening to them every single morning. So my 20-minute run is filled with motivation. Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Et. All these guys, not Et go phone home, but there's Eric Thomas. He's a motivational guy. Icky Wood. I mean, all these motivational guys are screaming at me my 20-minute run. And this morning, Tony Robbins mentioned the word decision, and I was like, well, that's pretty good. So I'm running, and he starts talking about decisions, right? And you think of the word decision, it rhymes with the word incision. And when you incise something, when there's an incision, you cut something. So you cut something, right? You open something up with a scalpel. You cut something with a knife. You alter the state of something by cutting it open. That's incision. Coach Bird talks about decision, and this decision is cutting something away. Is when you make a decision, you're actually cutting something away. You're cutting something off. So if I relate this back to the video yesterday, we're talking about Mr. Miyagi and Danielson, and they're talking. Mr. Miyagi says, and Kerry put up the quote from Yoda: "Middle of the road, you get squished like a bug, like a grape. Sorry, you get squished like a grape. Make a decision to be on the right side of the road. Make a decision to be on the left side of the road. Make a decision to do it, or make a decision not to do it. Either way is okay. Either way is okay." Just don't walk down the middle of the road. Just don't be indecisive. Just don't be wishy-washy. Don't be pushed. Don't be swayed to and fro by the winds and waves. Make a decision. Make a decision. The hardest part, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. The hardest part of anything new is the start. Is actually lacing up your shoes, walking out the door, and starting to run. That's the hardest part. The hardest part of the run for me, y'all, is the first probably 300 yards. When because I walk out the door, I walked up the road just a little bit to get my legs warm. It is 4 o'clock in the morning to try to get loose. I don't stretch or anything, so I walk a little bit to try to get my legs warm. I walk to the stop sign, then I start running. And that first 300 yards are probably the hardest 300 yards of the entire run. It's uphill a little bit. It's going to the next stop sign, and I'm in this place where I'm like, I'm not going to say what I want to say because I know we have younger ears on this video, and I want to be able to use this later. But but we begin to sabotage ourselves in our minds. When that first 300 yards, and I'm starting that first 300 yards, I've made the decision to go. I've walked out the door. I've turned on the video. The motivation's starting. I start walking up the hill, and I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I know in just a little bit that I'm going to have to start picking up the pace and running. I know in just walking's fine. I'm good with walking, but I know in just a little bit there's a spot where I've told myself that's where you start running. And I know based on my past experience, when I start that run, I know what it's going to feel like. And so my mind is already saying, you know what's coming, dude. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not going to hurt anybody if you don't run today. It is not going to bother a soul if you don't run today. So then I start running, and my knees are hurting, my legs are hurting, my back hurts. I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to get my breathing right, trying to get my steps right, my stride right, and my mind is telling myself, "Dude, this sucks, man. This is absolutely awful. Why don't you just stop?" This is what I'm telling you. Every single morning, this is what's going on. Every single morning. Some of you do this on a daily basis, just like I do, but you do it in different ways. Maybe it's not working out. Hell, Millie's in the gym at 5:30, hammering out that stair machine and the stairmaster for like 45 minutes. I mean, she's probably climbed how many steps do you think you climbed in the last year, Millie? 5,490. I mean, this girl she's climbed to the top of the Empire State Building like 17 times in the last year. Because she's on every time she does that video, man, she's on that stairmaster. She's getting after it. But how many of you do the same thing every single day with other decisions? Decisions you know you need to make, things you need to do, things you need to. Millie said she's trying to type something, but she must be driving. Her fingers are all jacked up. You didn't get that Mercedes to do that talk text thing. Um, but how many? She said, "Heck if I know. I just do it. I promise you." She's climbed a heck of a ton of steps, hell a ton of steps. How many decisions do you have during the day where you know you need to go do something? You know you need to read a book. You know you need to make a phone call. You know you need to have that conversation. You know you need to set that lunch appointment. You know you need to ride by and see that client. You know you need to send your thank you cards. You know you need to dive into the Exit Resource Center and look at something new. You know you need to meet with your mentor. You know you need to meet with your mentee. You know there are things that you need to do. You just don't do it because it's more comfortable to do what you're doing right now. It's more comfortable to be indecisive. It's more comfortable to put it off. It's more comfortable to procrastinate than it is to progress. Ooh, that's pretty good, Carrie. Write that one down. It's more comfortable to procrastinate than it is to progress. It's more comfortable. I promise you, I could get out of bed at 3:45 happy as heck, feeling good. Put my shorts on, put my t-shirt on, put my socks and shoes on, and I could walk here on the couch and prop my feet up on the ottoman and just sit there. And I promise you that would be heck of a lot more comfortable than walking out that front door and going to run. Heck, it'd be more comfortable walking out the front door and going to walk, maybe or run half the distance. or run and come back. It's always more comfortable where you are than it may be where you're going. That's the challenge of the unknown. Is it's always more comfortable to sit where we are and not make a decision than make a decision to move. Because Brooke said something a minute ago, you got to honor you before other people are going to honor you. You got to honor yourself. You got to put the oxygen mask on your own face before you help somebody else. You got to honor you before you can help other people. It's always more comfortable to sit still. It's always more comfortable to not take the journey. I mean, right now the Exit Southeast is doing this climb in the Appalachians for they're going to raise money on this for this hike and this climb. And if you read the string, you go to Exit Southeast page and you read the comments on this string. Everybody says, "I'm not a climber. I'm not a climber. That's going to suck. I'm not going to do this. I'll support you. I'm not buying a T-shirt. I'm going to do this. I'm going." It's more comfortable to not do it. It's more comfortable to not push yourself. It's more comfortable to stay stagnant. It's more comfortable to not go on the hike and just buy a T-shirt. And then those people who wear the T-shirt like they've done something, and they did. I guess they spent money. They donated. But what about the people who go on the hike? Do you think their T-shirt means more than the people's T-shirt that don't go on the hike? Do you think the people who actually go on the hike, who actually walk the Appalachian Trail, who actually sweat, who actually breathe hard, who actually go earn that T-shirt, do you think they feel better about their T-shirt than the ones that just sent the money to buy a T-shirt? Speaking of that, and I know this is true. A buddy of mine came over yesterday, a guy named Burl Johnson. Burl Johnson was the guy I was a police officer with. Burl Johnson knows more. If y'all ever want to hear dirt on Aaron Dwyer, and you ever want to get an insight into my past or a little view into the Aaron Dwyer that was way back when, Burl Johnson's got the stories. Um, probably the not one of my probably the only ride or die outside of my wife. My only ride or die that I have. I call Burl Johnson right now. I said, dude, we got something to do, and it could be bad. Don't ask me any questions. I promise you, he'd be at my house in 35 minutes. That's how long it would take him to drive from his house to my house. Not a question, not anything. When he shows up, he's going to have rope, trash bag, gloves, guns, knives, gas, whatever you need. Bro Johnson's going to show up with it. I promise you. He said he called me yesterday. He says, "Man," Lynn said, "Give me his number." I'm saving that one, Lynn. Um, so yesterday he calls me and he says, "Where are you at?" And I said, "I'm at home." And we don't talk a lot. I mean, we don't talk a lot. We talk every now and again. Um, just I love him. I mean, I absolutely love this man. He calls me yesterday, says, "Hey man, I got some stuff for you. Where you at?" I said, "I'm at the house." He goes, "In Georgia or Tennessee?" I said, "I'm in Tennessee." He said, "I'll be there in 40 minutes." He shows up, and I would show you. I don't have maybe remind me, and I'll show you maybe tomorrow. Brings me a T-shirt. This is the reason this story's coming up because he brought me a T-shirt. And the T-shirt is Metro Nashville Police Department are celebrating their it's the 50-year anniversary of having a canine division of having. Um, Millie says, "Me and Jolie." That's funny. Jolie's your. I love it. You got to have a ride or die. You got to have you. You need to have you somebody that can sit in the passenger seat by you, and don't ask you a question, and you just know they got your back when you get there. That's the kind of you need one or two of those in your life. But so it's the 50-year anniversary of Metro Nashville Police Department's Canine Division. Of course, I was in Canine. It's a very select group that gets to be in and out of that division, and and I was over there for 2 years, I think, maybe two and a half years. Fantastic dog, fantastic experience. Still probably hold some records over there in Canine. I would say I probably still hold those records over there in Canine. But he brought me a T-shirt, and the T-shirt it's a canine T-shirt celebrating their 50th year anniversary. On the back of the T-shirt are two dogs that were killed in the line of duty. One of the dogs that was killed in the line of duty was a dog that and the handler that I started with in canine. So that actually, I was telling Jagger, I actually have a scar on my right wrist from that dog that's on the back of that T-shirt because he bit through the sleeve and got through the things and bit me in the wrist. It was fun. Another story, another day. That T-shirt means more to me than it does to somebody outside who paid 30, 40, 50 bucks to buy a T-shirt, 20, 30, 40 bucks to buy a T-shirt. That T-shirt means more to me because I earned that T-shirt with blood, sweat, and tears. I earned that. I've got bite mark. I've got a scar on my arm from the dog that's on the back of that T-shirt. That T-shirt means more to me. So when you're in the ring, when you make the decision, when you decide to go, the things that you're going to achieve at the end, they mean more to you. Those things have more value to you. So I'm giving this to you this morning. What decision do you need to make? What do you need to start? What journey of 1,000 miles do you need to start today? You ready to come on? Christy's here. You ready to come on?
Not well, I
Journey,
guess so.
what journey of 1,000 miles do you need to start today? Where do you need to start? What do you need to go do? Because I'm telling you, man, starting is the hardest part. Starting is the hardest. That first step's the hardest step. That first 300 yards is the hardest 300 yards of the entire run. But there's such now because now my walking is so small in the midst of the run, the strength that I've gained, the respect that I've gained for myself because I haven't quit. Hang on, I got to tell Jagger something, y'all. The respect that I've gained for myself, the strength that I've gained for myself. It's happened to me the other day. I was running, and actually, and I in my head said, "I honor you," talking to me, building myself up, putting my oxygen mask on first, doing the things that I need to do before I go out and do the for me before I go out and do the things for the other people in my life. Journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. What do you need to do? Is it a morning routine? Is it your prayer? Is it your Bible reading? Is it reading a book? Is it taking time for yourself in the morning before all the noise starts? Getting up and taking time for yourself. I don't know. I just know I just know the victory, the reward, the gain at the end will be greater than any pain you experience in the beginning. Promise. That's a biblical fact. The reward at the end, the reward for that good life, the reward for that good fight, the reward for doing the things that need to be done, the reward for living in this path, the reward and the gain is exponentially more beautiful than any pain you're going to experience at the start. So make a decision. Don't be tossed to and fro. Don't be pushed back and forth. And I don't know what decision that is, but just make a decision. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's gonna be okay. What you got, baby? You're muted.
I said, I guess I don't have much if I'm muted. Um, the the that that same exact conversation that you're having right now about just get started. Had that conversation with somebody yesterday, and and sometimes the desire, like I'm going to say this. Aaron laid this book on my nightstand a month ago after you read it. How long did you finish reading this book?
Probably a month ago, at least.
Yeah, laid it on my nightstand a month ago, and you can have everything sitting right in front of you. You can have the desire because I've been saying since he laid it on my nightstand, oh, I've been looking forward to reading that book. And there's always something else that we can put in front of it. There's always going to be, no matter how, because the idea of getting up at 4:45, 3:45 Central Time, like my husband does every single morning, as grand as that sounds, I think that my inner, like, the one sitting over here going, "Mm-mm, do you really want to do that?" Because I know that once I start reading that book, I'm going to it's going to be a challenge to myself. And I had the conversation with Aaron probably 2 weeks ago. I was like, dude, I think it's fantastic that you're getting up at 4:45, but that's a commitment you made to yourself. I'm not ready to make that commitment to myself. So don't start telling me how great it is. I mean, and it wasn't in an ugly way. I mean, it was just one of those that you got to make that commitment to yourself. And even though you may have the book on the nightstand, you may have all the tools you need right in front of you. You may have the desire to do it, like the want. And I'm going to say the want to, because I think there's a big difference. Desire kind of goes deeper. The want to, like, yeah, I want to read that book. Yeah, I want to start getting up at 5:30 in the morning, or 4:45, or whatever time it is. But do you actually have the grit to push yourself through it? And once you make that commitment, because I'm one of those people that I'd rather not make the commitment than to make the commitment and then not follow through on it. So I have literally laid there and looked at that book. And there's been times that I'll get up, like I'll sit there at night and I'll look at the book. Okay, am I going to read it? And I'll get up and I'll find another book because I'm just not ready to make that start yet. So I picked that book up yesterday and started reading it. And he's right. It's one of those books that once you start reading it, it is very difficult almost to even put it down. It captures you, and it kind of pulls you in such a way that you want to do you want to get up and commit to that. So the last 2 mornings, so this morning, um the I had better control of the dogs. I put the ringleader, who we used to think was Aussie, it's not, it's Cooper, on the leash. So I didn't have to chase the dogs through the neighborhood this morning. But sometimes it's putting those boundaries on yourself that, if I can control this situation, then I'm going to do it. But just making that start of doing it. The last 2 mornings I have been up at 5. Um I'm not to the 4:45 yet, but I have been up at 5. I've not necessarily been vertical at 5. I've been awake at 5. Um but making the commitment to take that first step is the hardest part. That first 30 feet. Um, had this conversation yesterday with an agent who I said, you've got the desire, you've got the ability. You're not your typical age group person. So, and sometimes just like as parents, like I say this to Aaron about Jagger all the time. He's so much more mature. He's got a little bit of an old soul to him. Um, so sometimes we forget that he's 10. So sometimes with some of our younger agents, I forget the age they're at, and I have to remember they're still in that mindset, even though they've done so well for themselves and there's so much drive, and they've gotten a real estate license at I mean, like Jolie's on here. I mean, Jolie's got, Jolie, you were what, 19 when you got your license? Maybe even 18. I mean, I think she was straight out of high school when she got her license. So you guys have got the ability to get out here and do real estate. The life experience, even though you may have some good life experience up to this point, some of these younger agents haven't had the life experience that some of us older folk have had to be able to handle those situations. And they're like, how do I start? What do I do to start? And that's the piece that's super tough. They've got the desire, they've got the resources, they've got the ability. It's just a matter of putting it together and taking those first few steps. It's a matter of picking up the book and getting your mind right to be able to commit to that type of a regimen and follow through on it. So the only thing that is, and this was the term I used yesterday. I said, my job is to get you out of your own way. My job is to get me out of my own way. Our job is to get you guys out of your own way so you can get out there and be successful. So you can get out there. Of course, they behave. So I don't lock them up in the room, and now they're doing all that in the background. Um, to help you get out of your own way to be able to make that start. So I'm going to mute it because the dogs are going nuts in here. But I haven't heard the whole call this morning, but just the little bit I have heard was fantastic, and I hope you guys can embrace that. And the piece I'm looking at Carrie's message saying, put the O2 mask on yourself before your kid. Those are the things we've got to do to be able to take care of ourselves. We've got to be able to feel the confidence and feel right about what we're doing. So then we can proceed forward and take care of others, whether it's our spouse, whether it's our kids, whether it's our friends, whether it's our clients, whoever that is. So I'm going to mute this, keep going, just because these dogs are being morons.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm about to get off the call here in a second. I've got to get Jagger to school, but I'll say this. In going back to what we said earlier, like Coach Burt, and I've never heard this said this way, but to make a decision to move in any one direction means that you're cutting off the possibility of going in the other direction. I say that other possibility is still there, but the act of making a decision means you're cutting away the other direction. You're cutting away the other choice. You're cutting away the other possibility. You're making a decision to move again. Either way, right? Either way, the the challenge, and this is what I think we'll talk about tomorrow. And before we go, and I want to leave you with this: the challenge with our human frailty is our duality. The challenge of our human frailty is our duality. We have the ability to be this dude, and we have the ability to be this dude. We have the ability to listen to this voice. We have the ability to listen to this voice. It's the yin and the yang. It is the good, the bad. It's the white, the black. It's the good wolf and the bad wolf. It's good and evil. We are a. It's a dichotomy. We are. It's a duality of personality that we as humans possess that creates this comfort and procrastination. Because if I don't please either one of these and I stay in the middle and I don't want to take this stance and I don't want to take this stance, so I stay in the middle, that promotes the procrastination. That promotes the middle of the road where you get squished like a grape. You got to stand for something or you fall for anything. Randy Travis said, great wise words, Randy Travis. You got to stand. You got to go. You got to make a decision. You got to cut something away to go forward. You got to take the ropes off the dock to move. You got to take your hand off the side of the pool to swim. Vanessa Self, we are so proud of you. Vanessa Self made a decision a couple of weeks ago and said, I'm putting this down because I'm going after real estate full time. Tony Robbins said it this morning. He said, to take the damn island, you got to burn the boats. You got to go in with full gusto. You got to go in with full spirit, full energy. So my challenge to you this morning, as I get off this call and leave you with Christy for a little bit, is this. What decision do you need to make? What choice do you need to make? What are you going to commit or are you going to quit? Are you going to commit and quit? Are you going to do that spiral of I'd like to, but I don't want to. I'd like to, but I don't want to. I'd like to, but I don't want to. And so you sit in the middle of the road until the truck comes by and squishes you like a grape. I'm going to challenge you. Make a decision today. Something. I don't care what it is. You've been battling something. You've been trying to make a decision. Going forward, going backward, doing this or doing that. Make it today. Take a step. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And I got to go. My journey of 1,000 miles starts with get out of the door and get in the car. So I love y'all.
That's
And I'm
true.
going to jump off here.
Okay.
I love
And
y'all, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a whole lot to add to this. I mean, it's it's a resounding theme that we've got of commit, make the decision, commit, and just do the damn thing. That's it. I mean, I just wrote down that quote. Hopefully, Carrie, hopefully you wrote it down too, because I may have gotten it in the wrong order. But about to take the island, you've got to burn the boats. To take the to to for the hot air balloon to leave the earth and to go and get to experience everything that a hot air balloon is designed to experience. You got to release the tethers. You got to let go of what's holding you back. You've got to be willing to let go of it, even if it's uncertain, even if it's scary. I mean, my mom used to always tell me this: they can't eat you. Like, what's the worst thing they can do? What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? Because if you can deal with and feel comfortable with, maybe not even comfortable, if you can say, I can handle that, they can't eat you, you know. So y'all seen it's a little baby running down the hallway and they turn around and run back the other way. I mean, if you get going in a direction, you're like, whoa, wait a second, and you realize it's really not the direction you're supposed to be going. You can always turn around. You can always make a U-turn. Um, I don't recommend you abandon ship too easy because sometimes people are like, whoa, that feels hot. I'm gonna pull back a little bit. But but you got to risk it for the biscuit. You got to get started. You've got to get going, um, and just do it and release the things that are holding you back. Let them go because then they don't have a hold on you anymore. So many people say you don't want to lose weight, like, and it's all in the subconscious, just the way that you word something. I don't want to lose weight. I want to release the weight. I want to let go of the weight because if you lose it, that is a that is a subconscious that I'm going to find it eventually again. If you release it and let it go, it is gone, um, like a balloon. So commit, let go of whatever's holding you back, release it, release yourself from it, and move forward and take those steps. So we love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Carrie, I am going to say this. I did see that she mentioned this call on the real estate mastermind group page. And honestly, I would love for you guys to share what we talk about here in the mornings. I mean, obviously, I know sometimes we mention a few things that are specific to us, but this thing is out there. Our intention is to help other people grow. That is what we're trying to do. We are trying to expand the impact that we have on impacting lives in a positive way. So feel free to share this on your page. Feel free to go out there and say, hey guys, if you got something, just join the nation page. Go out here and listen to this. They don't have to be on here at 6:30 in the morning if they don't want to be. Heck, I don't even show up at 6:30. And I'm sometimes one of the ones that's holding the darn show. So just get on there and get a little bit of something. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but something that I feel like will be said throughout the course of them listening to this that will potentially resonate with them and move their ball forward and maybe help someone else. So we love you guys. Hope you all have a great day. Be good, be great, and be you. Bye.